You know, after the Nuggets beat the Lakers in Game 1, I believe, said you had boundless optimism.
That's true.
My optimism is boundless.
Well, the first thing is what I said, not the
Well, I
second.
have great news for you.
Yeah.
Miami also lost Game 1 in Denver.
Do you have a question?
Yeah, you thought there was more reason to believe in the Lakers.
The loss was actually good.
I guess you're exceedingly confident.
Well, no,
I wrote, where are you now?
Wildes,
Mr. Consistency.
there you go. Am I going to be overly swayed by one game? No. Are there different types of losses? And in Game 1 against Lakers, I obviously was wrong, but I did like some of the things I thought the Lakers were able to do offensively against Denver. They were never able to recreate that. In this game, I think everyone would admit that you like some of the things defensively Miami was able to do against Denver. This is Denver's lowest scoring, or second lowest scoring, game of the postseason. The other one was a 97-point performance they actually won against Phoenix in Game 2 of the second round. Of course they can still win. They absolutely cannot win the series or any game that this happens, that their three shooters, Duncan Robinson, we can show it to you, Caleb Martin and Max Strus, combined for that.
6.
They're a 6. They're a 6, bro. That is
well done,
unspeakably bad in 67 minutes. And so, did the moment get to them? Was it shot variance? Was the air too thin for them? I don't know. But they obviously can't win when they shoot like that. And, Brew, I don't know what you thought. I didn't think they were a lot of super contested, crazy, difficult shots. So you take that. You then take the fact that Jimmy Butler had 5 points in the first 120 seconds of the game, and then 8 points the rest of the way. Of course they can't win that way. Denver is an excellent team. Denver had good reason to be the favorite. We talked about it yesterday. They have the best player in the series. They have home court. They have a really dynamic second option. But do I think, based on that game with that horrific of a shooting performance, that Miami's drawing dead? I don't. I don't even think Brew thinks they're drawing dead. Do you, Brew?
You don't know Brew.
Oh, really? So your respect for the Heat lasted a day?
No, I got respect.
Well, you're saying the series is over.
It's over.
You told me.
I didn't call for a sweep.
You told me all postseason that you've watched the NBA long enough that people overreact to Game 1, that the series doesn't start until you told me all of that.
You're misplacing my word. First of all, bravo.
What?
Bravo.
What
you had to come up here and come up with something.
I just gave
you're
you
not
facts.
bailing after
Are you
one
a feelings
game.
guy or a facts guy?
Those were no facts.
Really?
You
The
talked
shooting
about
was
how
facts?
poorly the Heat shot.
Yes.
They
That
shot
was the difference.
33% from 3.
No.
My goodness.
No.
How can you win a game
No,
shooting
that's
33%?
misleading, though.
I don't know. Ask Denver.
Brew.
Well, let me finish. You had 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 6 minutes. Denver shot 29% from 3.
Oh, what do you know?
So don't give me all this, the Heat, they about to, that wasn't them. They didn't shoot well. Well, neither did Denver.
Brew,
all right, so,
do you know what Miami,
and what did I say yesterday?
Can I give you another one? Do you know what Miami shoots in the regular season from 3?
Yeah,
4%.
Thank you. That's what Miami is. What you saw last night.
There it is. You
was
don't
what
have
they
respect
are
for them.
from 3.
That's not
you know
who
what
they
I
are.
respect? I respect their ticker. I respect their courage. I respect their grit, their toughness, their heart, their coaching, their execution, their intelligence. I don't think they're that talented. They remind me of 1999 Knicks. The other 8 seed to get to the finals.
Now you don't respect
ran through the
Latrell's
East.
pretty well.
People hoped, this might be a series. They were overmatched. They went down in 5 to the Spurs. It reminds me of LeBron's Cavs in 07. Great run through the East. Maybe they got a shot. They were overmatched by the Spurs, got swept. This Heat team is overmatched. And I'd argue they were overmatched against Milwaukee and Boston, but those two teams had major flaws. Milwaukee's best player can't shoot. Boston's scatterbrained, as I've said. Denver doesn't have any of those issues.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely
Like,
true.
when you're a more talented team, I'm more talented than you. I'm just saying, just generically saying.
Yeah.
And you got crazy heart and you're smart and all that, right? But I got just as much heart and just as much smarts. I'm going to win. And that's what we're facing. Denver's better. They're bigger. The size bothered Miami.
That's true.
Right?
Oh, that's true. I'm not.
And we know, Nick, we know how great of a coach Eric Spoelstra is. Do we really think he didn't have his team? Look, Denver doesn't protect the rim very well. Let's attack.
Well.
And they still didn't attack because
note,
they saw that size bothered them.
Go ahead, Wild. Sorry.
The free throws last night, which I think you wanted to get to. Free throws last night. The good news is shot 100%.
Yeah, fewest in finals history.
Denver went 16 for 20.
They were on fire.
After the game, Jimmy's like, yeah, we need to attack. Like, you think?
Fewest in playoff history. I said finals history. So on the free throws quickly here. I did not think that was a poorly officiated game.
Me either.
I did not think people see a free throw discrepancy. The Lakers were dealing with this all playoffs, where people see a free throw discrepancy and then they say, "Oh my God, the fix is in. The refs were bad." That's not always. Sometimes that's the case. Last night, that was not the case. There were not a bunch of plays where I'm like, "Oh my God, how does Miami not get free throws?" I thought the Jimmy Butler play was a clear path that they didn't call. I thought that was weird when he got tackled in the open court. But aside from that, I didn't think there were any egregious misses. Miami, they get to the free throw line by Jimmy Butler attacking. Jimmy Butler wasn't attacking. And Bam, because he was making the mid-range, just kept taking the mid-range. He was actually really good. One of the bigger concerning factors for Miami is the offense was that bad, with Bam having what will probably be his highest scoring game of the postseason. A couple other things, though. Of the finals. I think the Miami's final 3-point numbers are a little misleading in this regard. They were 7 of 27 through 3 quarters. Yes, they started to make some threes at the end of the game, but they were down 20 by the time they actually hit consecutive threes and it looked like they finally had their shot. You mentioned Spo. Wildes, I made a big mistake yesterday.
Oh.
I broke my New Year's resolution,
Yeah.
which is to be less humble,
We all know it.
by humbly saying,
I couldn't tell.
Obviously, Eric Spoelstra knows more about basketball than me. I'm now going to say the jury's out on that.
Yeah.
Because what did we all say, all of us, going into the game? Denver is an incredible offensive team. The only shot you have is to make Joker beat you by scoring, not passing. He didn't take a shot until a second left in the first quarter when he got the steal in the backcourt and just laid it up. Yep. He had double-digit assists at halftime. That was, and I'm joking about Spo, obviously. He's the best coach in the league. But that was a little, who knows. But
no, I know, you're joking.
Okay, but their game plan against Joker, I thought, was massively flawed. Now, and I know we're going to talk about Joker. The answer might be there's no game plan. He solves everything offensively. But we know making him a passer is the worst of all evils for the opponent. They were 34-4 in the regular season when he had 10-plus assists. Dusty told me that they've only lost twice all year when he creates 28-plus points. Like, when the ball's popping around with him as the fulcrum of the offense, the other guys get confidence. They don't seem to have a way to stop them. And that seemed to be exactly what Miami was asking them to do. All
right, let's dig in on Joker. He made it all look easy, only had 10 points at half, but decided to start scoring and added 12 in the fourth, ends the game with 27, 10, and 14. Here's a list of most triple-doubles in a single postseason, bro. It's Joker with 9, Wilt Magic. Shout out to Draymond. 6. So, Brew, did he look like the best player in the world to you last night?
Absolutely. I think we all can agree.
Absolutely. Poor Giannis, man. He just...
No. This dude, he's the best player in the world. And I think it's, after this series, when they win, I think it'll be darn near undisputed. Because the argument for Giannis, I used to think Embiid was better. Now, that's obviously not the case anymore. And I'm not talking about the MVP vote, because that's not just best player. But I thought the defense, and, I've seen Embiid fail enough in the playoffs now. And offensively, I don't think he plays to his strengths all the time. This guy, defensively, we know that's his weakness, but it's really not a weakness. He's not great, But because of his size and his intelligence, he's not a liability defensively. And then offensively, there's nothing he can't do. They said this on the broadcast, and it's true. Through the first 3 quarters, he took 5 shots and was dominating the game.
Yep.
I'm thinking through history, the players, you've heard that about players before. A Bill Russell because of his rebounding and defense. A Magic Johnson, a Jason Kidd. Anybody else?
Chris Paul.
Okay.
Chris Paul.
But I don't know that he dominated to this degree. I mean, like, this guy, there's nothing you can do against it. We saw him, he has 5 shots through 3 quarters. And then in the fourth quarter, when Miami starts to make a run, he scores 12.
Yeah, easily.
He hits a 3. He's dishing the ball all over. And then Jamal Murray gets doubled, kicks it to him. Oh, I'll hit a 3.
Yep.
So he's the best passing big man ever. And I think, look, we're watching something special. We are watching something very special.
So I agree with nearly everything Bruce said. To answer the question, does he look like the best player in the world? Unequivocally, yes. I feel like if Giannis lost the belt for losing to Jimmy, I don't think Joker can win it if he also loses to Jimmy. I think that if the Heat win the series, when we all agree the Nuggets are more talented, then Joker.
But let me ask you this: what about? I hear you, but what about the eye test?
So I think we are sometimes a little bit of a prisoner of the moment in this regard when we're talking the eye test. Joker this postseason is averaging just under 30, 13, and 10 on 54%. Giannis, on his championship run, averaged 30, 13, and 5 on 57%. So Joker has him doubled up in assists, but we all agree Giannis is even if Joker's not a terrible defender, Giannis was doing that while maybe also being the best defender in the league. Right. So equaling his offense, equaling his scoring, equaling his rebounding, half the assists, which is a huge difference, but still 5 assists for a big man essentially is good. Same efficiency. So here's the point.
But that's not the eye test. That's numbers.
No, I understand. But
Giannis has a glaring weakness, and I'm not even talking about the free throw line. He has a glaring weakness in that, like Miami, because Spoelstra's such a great coach, when they can put up that wall and stop him from getting to the paint, what is he going to do?
So that is totally legitimate, and I have been one that when it comes to Giannis has said, I don't really care about the weakness because it hasn't cost them, but then it cost them in this round.
And it cost them in the bubble.
Pre-championship, absolutely. And that was a different version of Giannis. Giannis, to me, got better the year after the bubble, after losing to Miami and went on that run. But let me just finish the point that I'm trying to make here. Yesterday we mentioned Dirk, and you and I have different opinions on Dirk. And it got me thinking about how I value players and what I value. I put maybe a disproportionate impact on how good are you in the postseason. And so it is, to me, not contradictory to have been skeptical of Nikola Jokic as the best player in the world up until 6 weeks ago and being 10 days away from saying, of course he is. If you go on one of these type of playoff runs and win a championship and he has entered the era of Brew, no bad playoff games. And that is rarefied air, where it's like that even an off night for him, he's still going to produce at a high level. So he is checking off almost all of the boxes. Before I'm ready to just definitively say he's better than Giannis, I would like to see him beat the team that beat Giannis, but we'll see. But there's no nits to pick right now. Now, the broadcast said he's passes like magic, rebounds like Moses, and shoots like Dirk. That's a little much.
He was quickly called out on that by his fellow broadcaster.
I understand. And then
he took it back.
And then Twitter said he's officially better than Larry Bird. Again, I think we're pressing fast forward on it a bit, but he's been unbelievable.
We're pressing fast forward, but
it's as close as you're going to get to an apology, Denver.
What? Apologize for what? For what?
All your slander.
There's been no slander.
No slander?
No, there's been no slander. There's been a healthy air of skepticism that he is now answered.
What you didn't take into account, I think you'll admit this, the injuries. Had he had Jamal Murray those 2 years he was hurt, who knows what they would have done. I'm not saying they would have won a championship, But who knows how deep they would have gone in the playoffs. He needed a little help.
Still Mr. Consistency.
No, listen.
Consistently want playoff success.
Right. In this sport, if you want to be considered the best in the world, you have to go on a run like this. That's been the rule for every player ever. Mm-hmm. We shouldn't make an exception. He's now going on a run like this.
I'm saying, if you get to the finals and lose, it's okay to hold it against someone.
Well, that's not what we're saying. I
thought
said a great
that's where we
playoff
go.
run. This is a great playoff run.
Finals
no
and
matter what
lose
he does.
several times. A quiet game for playoff Jimmy. Next.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.